Welcome back to Fixing Up in association with Amazon, the classic car show where we restore cars that you can win. Now, last time I introduced my partner in crime, Clive, to our new project, a Ford Mondeo 2.5 litre Gear X Estate. We got it up on the two-poster, had a really good look underneath it, and we discovered that it's pretty sound, and that meant that it's a viable project. Then I went up the front, changed all the filters, and filled it with Magnetic 5W30 oil. It's perfect for the Ford V6. I've also got a brand new Bosch battery to fit, but I'm not going to put it on yet, and there's a good reason for that. This car lived in a hedge for about 8 years, and one of the reasons it was taken off the road is because the fuel pump had failed, and that means we've got to fit a new one. And to do that, well, we might as well drop the tank at the same time to give it a good clean out, because that petrol will be horrible by now. And once we've cleaned it out, we'll refit it, fit the new fuel pump, and then we might go for a restart. We'll also need to fit a new fuel filter as well. We've got one of those from Bosch too. So all of that is yet to come, and we need to do it all before we even attempt to start it. So it's a race against time. Hopefully though, by the end of today, we'll have a running engine. Over to you, Clive.
Now that Danny's changed the oil, I'm going to turn my attention to the fuel system. And we know that this car was taken off the road because the fuel pump failed. And we can change that without taking the tank down. But when I had a look in the top of the tank, it was really horrible in there. So what we're going to do is drop the tank, clean it out, and start everything fresh. And I think that's the best way to go. So initially I need to take the fuel filter off because it's in the way of dropping the tank. So I'll squeeze these unions here. Let's see if I'm really lucky. It'll come off. Oh, I think I need a bowl. The smell of 10-year-old petrol. Lovely. Ah, yes, running out now. It shouldn't take too long. And it really is unpleasant. Wiggle this out. Oh, lovely. Luckily, I only managed to get one armpit full of fuel there. And now we can start undoing the bolts for the tank. There you go. These straps should turn and come out. So there's support straps for the tank. I'm just trying to get the filler tube out the top of the tank. So this is the filler tube for the tank, and I'm trying to get that to release from the tank, and it doesn't really want to. The idea is that you twist this white piece here and it's supposed to unlock from the tank, but it's not at the moment. It moves so far, but it's quite firmly stuck. So I'm going to have to give it more releasing fluid and a bit of attention. Finally, I'm pleased about that. It's released. I didn't enjoy that at all. I know I smell like that. Danny, do you remember that dodgy aftershave you bought on the market?
Yeah.
John Pierre Baguette or something.
No, it was High Karate Mark II, wasn't it?
Oh, right. Yeah,
You've got it off though, blimey.
Yeah, so.
That is a big thing. And what was it like getting the neck out?
Horrible.
Yeah, I bet.
I don't want to go there again. So, we need to be, if you just steady it.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've got it.
Working it round and away from that, and then away from the exhaust. It's right. Hold on. I'll tell you what, I'll hold it if you let the stand down. That's it.
Are we out?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And hold on. Oh, one more phantom pipe.
Oh, what? Oh, there's always one, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
I've got it, so if you want to play with that. I can see some corrosion above it, but nothing that looks terminal.
No.
Which is a joy. I'll tell you what though, Clive, if this car had been left out for another year, it wouldn't be the same scenario, would it?
No.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, it looks like something's living on top of the tank too.
Oh, it's Rusty the Mouse again.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Lovely.
Well, I'm afraid he won't be coming home again.
No, I bet he got high on the fumes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, let's get it cleaned out. I put some detergent in the tank and now I'm just going to give it a good clean out.
So, whilst Clive is outside playing with his lance, I'm going to come in here and have a little look at the areas that are normally covered up by the fuel tank, the ones you can't get to when it's in. And I'm going to give them a wire brush, I'm going to convert the rust that I find, and then I'm going to give it a quick covering over with liquid moly underbody schutz, so that it'll make sure that rust will never come back. Yeah, it's one of those jobs that you do while you've got the opportunity. So we just had the battery delivered. It's the correct battery for the car. It's the last piece of the puzzle we need before we can turn the engine over, get that oil around the engine and see if the fuel pump works. Wisdom dictates you should always fit the positive terminal first. And the reason for that is that if you were to short anything out, heaven forbid, you wouldn't be shorting it out against the car. It's a safer way of doing it. So positive terminal first, and then the negative can go on. There we go. Just going to tighten this one up. Job's a good one. That fits just nicely. Right, we've come inside this fantastic minty interior on the Mondeo, and we're going to do a double test. Now, Clive's been outside, he's cleaned the tank out. I've put oil in the engine, so that's all done, but we want to do a double test now. We want to make sure that the next stage is going to be foolproof. So Clive has got the brand new fuel pump that we've purchased, and that's all wired up. I am going to turn the engine over now to see, firstly, if the fuel pump actually works, and secondly, if we can get oil pressure. Let's keep our fingers crossed, because if that oil light doesn't go out, we've got a problem. You ready, Clive?
Yeah.
I can hear it.
That works.
Oil light's gone out!
We're in business.
Bingo. Okay, right, we now have a cleaned fuel tank. All the debris gone from inside it. Yeah. We've also got a rebuilt fuel pump. Now, what have you done with that, Clive?
Well, basically, I fitted a new pump to the old carrier, and we should be good to go.
That's all ready to fit. We've cleaned up the seal, and yeah, ready to shove it in, see if it fits the aperture. We also know that it works because we tested it, and yeah, this is our route to a startup. Let's shove it in. This is exactly the kind of thing that will fail on a car if it's been laid up for a long time. Just pop it in there. Because the mechanisms are so small and the tolerances are so tight, any debris, any corrosion, just being left for a long time will mean it potentially will seize, and that's exactly what happened to this fuel pump. And
that's hardly the textbook fitting we were after, is it?
No, it isn't. You said it would take about 10 seconds.
Yeah, I know, and I was wrong, but that's not unusual, Danny.
I've got.
I can see
give it a wiggle.
what we were doing. I can see what I was doing. Yeah.
And we are in. It just proves that this is all live.
Yes, we're there.
Right, now
Don't laugh.
The seal ring.
It's not funny.
It is a little bit funny. There we go. Oh, that's gone in. That's almost gone in too easily now. Nice. Okay, ready to rock.
I did say it was easy.
Brilliant. Okay, well, we're going to pop that in just 1 second. But first, I want to take you to a very special place in the workshop. Now, those of you that have watched Fixing Up before know that this is the classic car show where we restore cars that you can win, and this is no exception. This Mondeo Gear X could be yours, but you've got to be in it to win it. How do you get in it, I hear you ask? Well, this is how. All you have to do is get yourself along to amazon.co.uk/fixing-up. That's amazon.co.uk/fixing-up and get yourself into the prize draw. Now, doesn't stop there though, because not only can you win the car, you can also win the kit we use to restore the car. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Kit Corner. You can win all the products that you see here, starting with Amazon Basics tools, this 201-piece socket set, this incredible household tool set, a wonderful screwdriver set, which is in its own presentation box. You've also got a miniature driver set, and we're throwing some PPE and some microfiber cloths as well. But that's not all you can win. Oh no. You can also win this fantastic collection of Castrol oils. You've got some grease here, you've got good old Castrol GTX, you've got Castrol Classic 20W50 for your older classics, and also you can win the oil that we're actually using on the Ford Mondeo, Castrol Magnatec 5W30. Now, I use all of this on my modern classics, and I actually stopped earlier on and thought, what does Magnatec actually mean? Because it's a great oil, I use it all the time, but I've never actually had a look at what it actually means. And believe it or not, it tells you on the back of the can. I've never read the back of the can before. So this is what Magnatec actually is. Castrol Magnatec's breakthrough dual lock molecules cling to critical engine parts and lock together to form a powerful force field of protection, dramatically reducing both warm-up and stop-start wear by 50%. So now you know. Magnatec, molecules that cling to metal. Hence Magna. Doesn't stop there though. We've also got Liqui-Moly products that you could win in Kit Corner. So we've got gearbox additive, we've got oil additive, we've got injector cleaner, we've got ATF, we've also got motor clean for when you do your oil changes, like an engine flush. And this is what I've used previously as well, carburetor and valve cleaner. Every 5,000 miles or so, I put this through my engines just to make sure that it cleans out the deposits that build up naturally as the engine is used. It's really good stuff. But you're not just going to win that. You've also got a whole load of Bosch kit to win as well. We've got this incredible drill kit here. We've got this Bosch light. We've got the battery and the charger. And we've also got this Bosch battery charger. It's a smart charger. And it's got so many features. So many features, I can't even remember what they are. So I'm going to read it off the box. How about that? So this is the C40 Li battery charger. It's multifunctional. It trickle charges. It also charges 6 volt and 12 volt. It's got reverse polarity protection, overheating protection, dust and splash waterproof. It's got spark protection. It's got a memory function. It's got a regenerative function for when your battery is really low. It's also got automatic charging control. And you can select all the way through with the control button here. It tells you how charged your battery is. And of course, being Bosch, it's going to be a great bit of kit anyway. Who wouldn't want to win all of this stuff that we've been using? It's absolutely fantastic. But you've got to be in it to win it, and this is how. Get yourself along to practicalclassics.co.uk/fixing-up. That's practicalclassics.co.uk/fixing-up. And that means you can win Kit Corner, potentially. And if you want to win the car, remember, you've got to get yourself over to amazon.co.uk/fixing-up. That's amazon.co.uk/fixing-up. So, car, kit, you can win it, but you've got to be in it.
So now we need to try and get this tank back into the car, which is probably easier said than done. But with you can be my glamorous assistant this time round.
You say the sweetest things, Clive, you know that. So we're going to have to come in from one side, are we?
Yeah, yeah, well, it needs to go up that way.
Okay,
so
cool.
Get a mouthful of car.
Okay, so that's a transmission jack you're pumping up there, just to give it a bit more support.
Yeah,
you're going to foul the exhaust on this side at the moment, Clive, so we need to move about 6 inches to move towards you. It still needs to come towards you quite a long way.
Oh, that way?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Right.
There we go. Right, now we're missing it. There we are. It's a two-person job, this, isn't it? very much.
It's a bit fiddly.
Will this go any higher?
No, hold on.
Or do you want me to be the support?
Yeah.
All right.
You know I need support, Danny.
My arms are give way, so I'm going to...
Right, okay.
There we are. I'm in.
Right, hold on. We need to poke the filler in the hole.
Yeah, because what we're going to do is we're going
Down a bit there.
to put some petrol in it next, once we've got it secure, and connect it up to the fuel system. And then we will be close to being able to start it up, or at least try. I'm lunging, Clive.
Right, I think that's held.
Job done. Right, so we've got the Bosch filter here, and we've put the petrol tank in, everything's ready to go. Obviously, the fuel filter is always the Cinderella filter, one people forget about, isn't it, Clive?
Yeah, particularly important on a diesel car.
Yeah, and any car with fuel injection, you don't want anything nasty coming through from the tank. And this one, even though you've cleaned out the tank, you know, it's an old system. We want to make sure all the fuel coming through is nice and clean, don't we?
Yeah.
If you have a look on it, you'll find an arrow. Every fuel filter should have one of these. And this one's even got a word in it, just to make sure you know. It says flow. So
It's got another word at the other end, Danny, look.
out. You see, you never, and look, and there's a word in at this end. Just to avoid confusion, in, out, flow. So we're going to make sure we put it in the correct way. It has been done before. I've taken fuel filters off before that have been positioned the wrong way round. Obviously that would restrict the flow. But we're just going to stick this in and hopefully it'll marry up. Yep, there we go. In one end, in the other. And now we're nearly at the point where we can start filling the tank. Is that nice and secure, Mr. Jefferson?
It certainly is. I'm happy with that.
Excellent. So this is the moment of truth. I've got Clive on the ignition. I'm looking at the engine bay to make sure there's no fuel squirting out in places it shouldn't be. But what we've done so far to get to this point is we've taken off the fuel tank, we've cleaned it out, we've replaced the fuel pump, we've replaced the fuel filter, I've replaced the oil and the oil filter. We've made sure that everything's been connected up properly. I've actually rust-proofed above the fuel tank to make sure that we don't need to take it out again when we do that. Now this means that we should be in a position where we can potentially go for a start-up. Now what I'm going to ask Clive to do in a second is to prime it. He's just going to turn the ignition on and off 3 times to see if we can get that fuel pump working, pushing the high pressure fuel through to the fuel injection system in the engine. And then on the 4th go, we'll see if it starts. I've got a bet with Clive. I reckon it will start. He reckons it won't. There's a tenner riding on it. So anyway, over to you, Clive. Let's prime it 3 times.
I thought it was a cup of tea. 1, 2, 3.
You ready for the big one?
Yeah.
Let's give it a go. Come on. Oh, yeah, baby. You owe me 10 quid, Clive. Listen to that. That is so good. So good, mate. We've got a car.
Yeah. That hurts.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jefferson. Well, we've got a running car and it's structurally sound. That means we're going to go for this. This car is going to be great very, very soon. And when it is, you can win it. Don't forget, get yourself over to amazon.co.uk/fixing up. That's amazon.co.uk/fixing up, and you can be in with a chance of winning this car. I think that's plenty for one day, don't you, Clive?
Yeah, I've had enough. It's time for tea.
Excellent. We'll see you next time. Next time on Fixing Up in association with Amazon, the Mondeo's Bodywork Marathon begins. Clive's got 2 rear arches to weld up and I've got a front bumper to replace. See you then.